Hi, Achim from InnerSpace Explorers. In today's video, we want to talk about ditchable weights, yes or no.
No!
Yeah, exactly. But of course, we want to come up with a proper explanation because ISE policy clearly is we want a proper explanation for things we recommend and not just say that's how we do it because that's the way how we do it. So let's think a little bit about it. There is this old rule from a certain organization, doesn't matter which says if you have a problem underwater, the first thing you can do is you can start your ascent. Then the next step would be to ask your partner for your octopus, long hose, whatever, and make an ascent together. The next thing would be a free swimming ascent, and then the last solution would be to drop the weights and make this uncontrolled emergency ascent. If you reach that point, a lot of things went terribly wrong before that.
Murphy must have been there on that day.
Yeah, probably a classical Murphy dive. So obviously there's no partner. Second, you're out of gas. And third, you're overweighted. So yeah, if you follow the rules, if you have proper gas planning, and if you have what we call a balanced rig, and I'll actually put a couple of links to videos from this channel in the description where we talk exactly about that, the balanced rig, then why would you have to ditch weight and kind of somehow float up to the surface? So yeah, I mean, in more than 10,000 dives, I've never ever been in a situation where I wanted to remove weight from my system and shoot to the surface. So I'm really curious on this one. In the comment section, please tell me if you ever have been in that situation. So one of the most common mistakes I see when I have a look at other divers is people are overweighted. This is one of the worst things in diving. People have the tendency to take too much weight. I never really figured out what that is. When I talk to people, it's usually like, yeah, I'm afraid of shooting to the surface. And obviously it's a certain amount of laziness instead of really figuring out what you need regarding weight. If you're a little bit overweighted, you can always kick a little bit against it. And it generally seems to make buoyancy easier. At least that's what people think. But that's just a substitute for proper training. So when you look at this balanced rig concept, that means you have just enough weight to be able to comfortably sit on a 3-meter stop with a relatively empty tank, let's say 50 bars or so. And then that means that you should always be able to swim back to the surface, even if your BCD fails. I mean, if we talk a little bit about more technical diving, you always have redundancy in your buoyancy because you always have a dry suit, which we obviously don't use for buoyancy. We only use it to keep us warm and comfortable. But in an emergency, obviously, it can become buoyancy device. So that leaves basically the thing with the wetsuit. So if I dive a wetsuit, then obviously I don't dive heavy steel tanks. So I dive aluminium tanks. And so I'm basically not overweighted, but probably need a little bit of weight to get to that balanced status, so to speak. The other thing is poor gas planning. If I have proper gas planning, and when you look a little bit into the training concept of InnerSpace Explorers, then obviously we train or we plan for the emergency, which means how much gas do I need in an emergency, in a stressed out situation, when my breathing rate goes up and one person's out of gas, to make it back to the surface in a controlled, normal ascent, including all the safety precautions like safety stops, etc. So if I have that, why would I take the shortcut? I already have an issue, obviously, otherwise I wouldn't have to go to the surface, and now make an uncontrolled ascent. That doesn't make any sense at all. So that's why we do not use ditchable weights. It's a complete no-go. But please be aware, we talk about regular scuba diving. I mean, there's obviously a ton of different things out there. Let's say a rebreather, for example, if you flood the loop, if you're diving redundant rebreather systems, etc., etc. So of course you can always build some sort of idea where you say, okay, I have to. But regular scuba diving, no matter if recreational or technically, you do not use ditchable weights. You set up a proper rig and plan accordingly, and then you don't have these issues. I hope that makes sense. Please go to the comment section and tell me your experience about it. And if you like this video, please give us a thumbs up. If you haven't yet, please subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.